Gentleman from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield myself so much time as I may consume. Mr. Chairman, I rise to offer an amendment with my very good friend from Colorado, Mr. Lamborn, and my very good friend from Florida, Ms. Graham. This is a bipartisan amendment with respect to tunnels being used as a military tactic, technology, and strategy in asymmetric warfare. Mr. Chairman, almost exactly a year ago, when war broke out in the Middle East, when Hamas attacked Israel, I visited Israel and saw for myself the sophistication of tunnels being dug from Gaza into Israel, through which terrorists traveled, went to the other side of the tunnels, popped up, tried to kill innocent civilians. These tunnels are not the tunnels that many of us characterize in our own minds. These tunnels are sophisticated. These are expressways underground. It's like the Queens Midtown Tunnel going from Gaza to Israel. They are ventilated, they are lit, they are massive, they are deep, they are huge, they are impenetrable, and they are very difficult to detect. Now, Mr. Chairman, the FY16 Intelligence Authorization Bill properly says that the Director of National Intelligence will designate an official to manage the collection and analysis of intelligence regarding the tactical use of tunnels by state and non-state actors. This bipartisan amendment simply asks for accountability. It requires a report from this new lead intelligence officer for tunnels describing the trends in the use of tunnels by foreign state and non-state actors and collaborative efforts between the United States and partner nations to address the use of tunnels by our adversaries. Mr. Chairman, I talked about tunnels in the Middle East, but in fact, these tunnels are dynamic force multipliers for our enemies and enemies of our allies around the world. They're used for terrorist attacks, but they're also used to smuggle arms and contraband. We have learned that these tunnels are being used well beyond Israel. Korea is another example. Tunnels have been found in North Korea. Here at home, more than 150 tunnels have been found since 2009. Mr. Chairman, we have plenty of enemies today looking for ways to attack the United States and our interests around the globe. This bill recognizes these threats and very wisely creates a lead intelligence officer for tunnels. This amendment simply encourages greater oversight by Congress. It allows Congress to make informed decisions on how and where to spend future funds in order to counter this threat and protect U.S. national security interests. And most importantly, Mr. Chairman, these reports will help shape the efforts of the newly created position, making it clear that Congress expects accountability, transparency, and that is something that the American people require. I ask my colleagues to support this bipartisan amendment, and I reserve the balance of